The start of my financial awakening was from reading the book Rich Dad Poor Dad when I was 18. This completely opened my eyes to the idea that you can actually get into this upper class and you can work your way into positions that you want to be in. But the book highly advocates saving, getting every penny and squeezing it into investments, being super frugal and minimizing your expenses. This is the mindset that came onto me after reading the book, and it gave me an incredibly strong scarcity mindset towards money. I wanted to save every single penny. I declined many opportunities, and I didn't want to spend money on people I care about, experiences, and I said no to a lot of opportunities because of the mindset that this book put in my brain. And it's this whole scarcity mindset that it feels like you have to choose between. It feels like you have to choose between having fun or having this scarcity mindset that will provide a stable future for you. But there's actually another way, guys. Now, imagine you have the goal of having £1 million portfolio when you're 30, or $1 million. You want to have a $1 million estate by the time you're 30, so you can live off that interest. So you get 10% of your investments, you get 100 grand a year to live off in your 30s, and that provides you with a lot of freedom, because 100 grand a year is more than enough to enjoy yourself without having to worry about working, and you're basically financially independent. Financially independent means that you can pay all of your bills without having to work because you have passive income from your investments. And $1 million or £1 million is definitely enough money to support yourself. Now, there are multiple ways of going about getting this $1 million, and if you were to follow the advice from Rich Dad Poor Dad, that would be save everything and try and build up an £1 million portfolio by saving as much as possible and limiting yourself to your spending and expenses so that you can create that immense portfolio by saving all the money that you get from your work, okay? So you'd be working your day job and you'd save as much as you can every single month to build up that portfolio. And this can work, but only in some very rare circumstances. Otherwise, you'll literally be grinding forever. The current economy in the UK is extremely tight and expenses are insanely high. And even if you do optimize, you're unlikely going to be able to save more than 30 or 40% when you're young. And even if you're in a very good position, I have friends in the military, he saves almost 100% of his income, but it's still going to take over 10 years for him to reach his goal of £1 million. So this is a way of doing it, but it's extremely slow and honestly quite a miserable existence, because you can't say yes to holidays, you can't say yes to opportunities, you can't buy the car that you want, you can't, take girls out. It's a nightmare if you do this, because you're saying no to a lot of things in your 20s that are extremely important to experience and things that I want to do. I want a strong financial base, but I also want to have a fast car. I also want to be able to go on holiday, and I want to explore the world. So this isn't really an option for me. So what do? How can you build a strong base but also enjoy your 20s? And the answer that I've come to is earn more money, okay? Earn more money, and then you can save and you can have fun. Now, this might seem obvious, and how do you actually go about that? How do you earn more money? How is this possible? And this is obviously a very difficult question to answer, but I believe I have found the solution to this, and it's only a matter of time before I actually reach my goal. And if you haven't seen my channel, I'm documenting this entire process. What you need to do is you need to work for yourself more and work for others less. Don't work at your job more hours to earn more money. If anything, decrease the hours. Put some stress on yourself and use your time not to earn more money, but to think about how to earn more money. Think about how you can use your assets, your knowledge, your unique experiences. Everyone leads a different life. How can you use your unique experience to provide something to the world? And this is your idea. You're not working for someone else's idea. You have to understand every business is just an idea that someone had. And then they've hired people to execute their idea. No one person in the business can execute the entire operation because it all relies on each other. But the person at the top, the first person that had the idea, is the one that's getting all of the wealth, because ideas are what actually earns money. When you're working for someone, you're just filling out the roles so that they can execute their plan. This is something you have to understand. You need to work for yourself. If you want to earn more money, you need to work for yourself and your ideas instead of working for other people. So obviously that means that if we follow this logical thread of ideas being the source of value, you need to have a $1 million idea. You need to have a £1 million idea, an idea that's going to get you to reach your goal. And this is totally possible. I used to really struggle to think of ideas of how to make money. Now it's like I have too much. I have ideas every single day. I'm thinking about YouTube channels I could start, social media pages I could start, businesses I could start. Constantly, I've got too many ideas and I haven't got enough time and I haven't got enough money to actually execute all of them. I'm already running 2 YouTube channels and a bunch of other things that I know are going to work. It's just time and money that I don't have right now. And a lot of them are going to work. I know this YouTube channel is going to make me a lot of money, and it's just a matter of time for that to actually execute. But these ideas is the seed of all of it. So you need to get some $1 million ideas in your brain, write them down and actually execute them, and spend less time at work working for someone else and more time working for yourself. And also, when I say more time working for yourself, you also have to understand that time and energy are not the same thing. You can give yourself 10 hours to work on your own idea, but it might not be productive. So the energy is what's really important. Think about the energy that you have when you first wake up in the morning versus the energy when you're late at night finishing something off. It's completely different. And you need to understand that you need to choose the perfect energy that's going to work for your mission. If you're doing something extremely creative, oftentimes the energy that you have at the end of the day is much more valuable for those things. If you've ever done any art or you've ever done any writing, it's often easier at the end of the day to think of those things when you're tired. Your brain's more creative. But in the morning, if you need to do that math assignment or you need to do something very logical and it requires laser focus, those big problems are easier to solve. So think about what your idea is and what sort of energy you need for it and prioritize that energy. Use your energy for your ideas first before you sell it all to whoever you work for. Once you have your £1 million idea, you need to be 100% faithful in that idea. Otherwise, it's not going to work, because the only way your idea falls through and doesn't make you reach your goal is if you give up on it. It's not that the idea won't work. You can make any idea work. You just need to make sure that the idea that you have, you're not going to give up on, because it's going to be a long process and you're going to be tested. The universe is not easy on people, okay? You're going to be tested to your 100% limit and you're going to be asked if you really, really want it, because if you don't want it enough, you'll give up on your idea and it will never happen and all of that will be wasted. So you need to choose an idea that you're going to be 100% faithful in. That's step 1, okay? Be 100% confident in your plan. And then once you're 100% confident, you need to go all in. Spend as much as your paycheck on this idea as possible and spend as much as your good energy on this as possible. Now, that does not mean work 24 hours a day on your project, because often it's not the amount of time you put in. As I've already told you, energy and time are not the same thing. It's that really valuable energy that you start off the day with. You wake up and you have that energy, and it's extremely important that you put that into, you invest that energy into those things. Now, I've told you that money is actually not scarce, and if you treat it in an abundant way, like I'm explaining to you here, it's easy to spend it on other things because you're confident that your idea is going to provide you with that money in the future. But your idea will not provide you with new energy in the future. It's not going to provide you with extra time in the future. So you need to still make sure that you hold your energy extremely valuable to you. It's extremely scarce, and you need to make sure you're investing it every single day and not wasting it on anything that isn't towards your grand vision, your grand plan, okay? So make sure that you're investing as much as your paycheck and as much as your energy into your idea as possible, and work on it ruthlessly every single day. Prioritize it, right? Obviously don't take it too far, but you need to make sure that that idea is what you're living for and it becomes above everything else, okay? So how do you know if your idea is a good idea? How do you know that your idea is going to work? How can you be 100% faithful? Now, there's 3 things that I've written down here that I think are extremely important. And I've got these ideas from studying other people who have become successful. I've put a lot of time into actually understanding what ideas work and looking at people that are successful, not what they say, but what they do. There'll be a lot of coaches online. You'll see a lot of things online that you need to copy this business model exactly. You need to create this automated social media account. You need to do all of these things that are like set templates. These are not going to work. You need something unique. You need something that's from you, that you've actually decided. Now, feel free to take a business model that works, okay? I'm not saying don't do that. You could pick e-commerce, you could pick something like that, but you need to make sure you've got your own spin on it and you're using your brain, you're not just copying other people. So you need something unique. That's the first important criteria for a good idea. The second thing is the magnitude, making sure that your idea can actually scale up in magnitude and help as much people as possible, and also with a high enough magnitude as possible. So when I say magnitude, This is a combination of the amount of people that you influence and also how much you influence them. For example, you could start a Coca-Cola brand, right? You know, the first person that made Coca-Cola founded it, right? That Coca-Cola may improve someone's life by a tiny bit, right? You know, it might make their day a little bit better, but the scale is important. If you get that to millions and millions of people, billions of people, that tiny little 1% actually becomes a lot of value because of the amount of people that you're helping. Now you could take it the other way. You could help 5 people, but completely change their life. And if you do that, that is also a lot of value that you're giving to the world. It's all about giving. If you want this money, if you want this success, and you want this finance to come to you, you have to be prepared to give your gift out to the world, and they have to, and something that people are actually going to want, okay? So you need to think about how can you actually scale up this idea, because, for example, your idea might be to create the most beautiful painting in the world, and you spend hours and hours toiling over it, making it absolutely beautiful, and it's a spectacle. You've really brought something into the world here. But then you don't show anyone. You keep it in your room, locked away, and that idea is never brought into the world, and you never help anyone with that, so you're not going to get any money, okay? Because you haven't actually given it. This is the important step, is giving it, and how many people actually get to receive it. So instead of doing that, you might then put it in an art gallery. Now you're improving these people's day, you're bringing more customers to the art gallery, and they make a bit of money, and you'll get paid off that, okay? That's decent. But what if you were to use the internet? What if you were to put your painting on the internet for everyone to see? Okay, now you're really putting it out there, you're really helping a lot of people. And then what if you then show people how to create their own art and fulfill their own dreams? Now you are actually changing people's lives on a scale that is gigantic, and you'll be rewarded immensely for that. And it might not be in the way that you expect. You might think, oh, I'm going to get ad revenue for that. It might not be. It might be that people donate to you out of appreciation of what you've done for them. It will come, but it might not come in the way you expect. The important thing is that you're giving value. And you have to give your gift, especially as a man. I don't know if any women are watching, but for men especially, the only way to be fulfilled is if knowing that you've actually given something to the world and something that's important to you. So this is extremely important for a good idea. And the third thing for a good idea is it needs to be something you're proud of, okay? If you're doing something stingy, if you're scamming, if you're doing anything like that, eventually that's going to catch up to you, especially if you're not giving. So just think about the legacy that you're building, and are you going to be proud on it when you look back? Because if you're not, there's a much higher chance that you give up, and also that once you reach that success, you don't actually feel anything, and it doesn't feel, you're not proud of it, you know? Think about telling your kids about what you've done. Think about telling your future wife about what you've done. Are you going to be proud of that thing? Because if you're not, that's not the idea for you. It needs to be something you're proud of. So it needs to be unique. It needs to be a larger magnitude of value that you give to a lot of people, and it also needs to be something you're proud of. Now, to finish off the video, I'm going to go over some precautions to take when doing this, because if you learn how to move the world, it's extremely dangerous, and you need to be careful with how you do it. First of all, if you're spending all this money and you've understood that money is abundant because you're confident in your idea, you still need to be careful. Don't fall into traps like materialism. Don't be buying constantly new things as you're scaling up your money, because that's a waste. That money should be put back into your business at the very least. Your business needs to come first. Your idea needs to come first. And then second is your relationships and the people you care about. You should spend money on them next, because those relationships are extremely valuable to you. So think about that. Think about business first, then relationships and people you care about, and then finally spend it on toys and things that you enjoy. But the enjoyment doesn't come from the things, it comes from the feeling that you get from those things. And you can get an even better feeling by accomplishing your goal and fulfilling your dream, and also making the people that you care about happy. So that's why you should prioritize your business first to make more money and fulfill your own purpose. And then second of all, spend it on your relationships, because that's going to fulfill you a lot more than those material things. So don't fall into those traps. I know I've said don't be frugal, but also don't be materialistic either. Another thing is over obsession, getting so laser focused on your sort of dream and your goal that you just completely cut everyone out of your life and go isolate. Don't do that either, because like I've said, you do need to enjoy your youth. And the whole point of this journey is that you actually give yourself the opportunity to have fun as well. Take those holidays and give yourself some time away from working, because that's when your ideas will come to you as well. When you're in a different environment, when you're relaxed and you're present in the world, those are when your ideas are going to come to you. And talking about presence, being present is extremely important. You need to look at the world around you. When you're in a moment, stop and just look and think and feel like the present moment. Don't be constantly thinking about your dream. Don't be constantly thinking about your mistakes in the past. You need to be present and enjoying the moment, and really just being one with the world. This is extremely important, but it's difficult. So if you're not very good at this, try meditation, try journaling. Things like that will definitely help sort out your mind and calm yourself, because presence is extremely important. And then finally, enjoy the grind, guys. This is a very fun thing once you get into it. Once you're following your dream, I literally wake up every single day so excited to work, because I just love that I'm on a mission and I love that I'm building something. Make sure you're having more fun. You should be having more fun on this journey than the average person. If you share houses with people, you have friends and they're like obsessive hedonism, degeneracy, just having fun constantly, and they're not building, you should be happier than them. And if you're not, something isn't right. You're either working too hard, your idea is not very good, or there's other aspects in your life that you're neglecting. So make sure that you're actually enjoying the grind. I have more fun doing this every day and working hard and giving up partying, giving up just, there's so many sacrifices that come with it, right? If you'll know if you've done it, but I find it more fun because I'm building. So make sure you're having fun, enjoy the journey, and yeah, I hope you liked the video. This is just some value that I wanted to provide. So see you later, guys.